what do you see from all this, Olga? What have you been sharing with Hazel in the last couple of days?
I just talked to Hazel about singing the new You and about Reba Sartars and the Real Guides. And, you know, when you sing that from your heart, you know, these entities or whatever they are may just disappear.
Hope so.
But I mean,
I can't see that happening though.
Yeah, if you want that, yeah, I mean, if you can decide, you can see their intent, whatever that is, and you can talk to the guides and you can ask them to get rid of them. Just say like, ribs up Paul or the guy. Just talk to the guys and say like, I want these idiots put in the phantom zone, and they'll do it. That's what they're there for. So yeah, there's lots of alien factors here on the Earth. Not everybody sees them, but they're there, and it's like you said, the one that was living in your air conditioning unit, feeding off your electricity. There's so many different ways to consume energy to survive. There are people that don't eat food, and aliens that, or the reptilians, the draconians, they sacrifice children and do all this awful stuff. And yeah, so, and like they set up the grid streets in the cities, and it's like the whole thing is like a battery for them to feed off the energy. And yeah, they don't, because people don't need technology like they use it. They don't need to live in these unnatural cities when they can live naturally with the natural environment like the indigenous peoples did, but it's been set up in such a way so that their energy can be harvested for the loosh feeding astral aliens or physical astral aliens. So yeah, it's very real, and the guides are there to assist you if they see that you're there to assist them, and we can all support each other and become more aware. So yeah, maybe you would like to get on the phone with Sandy or Claudie and talk to them about your experiences. The other day, Sandy and Bob, her husband, were interviewing this lady we know who's doing a toxicology major or master's degree, and she's talking about vaccines, how what's really in them and what they're doing to children. And she mentioned on the radio interview that she was getting death threats from whoever it was, and Sandy was just, she was on the call, and she deals directly with the real guides every night, and so she was just shocked by this, and she said, "Well, I'm going to go and talk to the guides right now. They'll put them in the phantom zone, and so you don't have to be so afraid." And because that's, yeah, we don't have to deal with that stuff. We don't have to be afraid here. So yeah, and you can talk to the aliens too. You can tell them, welcome here, like you said. Those ones that were under the neighbor's house, they just left as soon as they were aware that you were aware of them. So yeah, because your awareness is your real protection. So like when I'm out walking around where I live here in Huntington Beach, it's a lot different to where I grew up in New Zealand, and so Americans can be kind of hostile. Not that New Zealanders can't, but anyway, so what I'll do is I'll telepathically talk to people as they're walking towards me if they seem kind of hostile. And I'll just telepathically, well, it's not even like with words, but I'll just communicate to them like, look, I'm like pure and sincere. I'm more aware than you. Just like keep walking. You can learn from me if you want to, but just keep walking. We're okay. And I don't really have any issues out there. So yeah, I mean, people always have free will, of course, but yeah, my point is awareness supersedes everything, and your awareness is your protection along with the rail guides, and they support you, you support them, and we all support each other, and we become more aware. So it's pretty cool how it works. But yeah, life's a big challenge here on planet Earth in a physical body, and so yeah, it's cool to have you here. It's cool for Olga to have a new friend down there that sees more than their physical, one-dimensional, boring life here on Earth. So yeah, thanks for showing up. Did Tim or Ariana want to comment on all of Hazel's experiences?
Hi. Yeah, those were great stories. Yeah, and you got the real guides, and yeah, I would feel the fear too, and so then I would have to let it go and just keep asking for help and do the new you. And anyway, what storyteller you are. I mean, that was really interesting. I really loved it. And thanks a lot for that. It was really cool. I live near a military airport, and there's a lot of lights going on over there, but I don't really see anything. But my neighbor lady, she was all freaked out every night watching all that stuff. They got the fighter jet planes. They come in after they do the show, the air show in Huntington Beach, you know. They just come straight up, like I think beach on the side of Beach Boulevard, the railroad tracks. They come up that way, and then they come right over my apartment and turn real low right up here. Man, it's so loud. And then the big transport planes come in. It's all military, a lot of military helicopters and stuff. And then we got our own police helicopter. So it's pretty freaky out here. But anyway, yeah, the air's bad right now. It's been very dry, and we had some really windy days, and there's been fires around. But they're a little ways off, but I can smell something in the air. But I did see one star the last couple of nights, so at least it's cleared up a little bit. But they say it's real bad. Looking at our area from the satellite, and then there's something going on too, I think, near Australia. I was watching Above Ground World News, and he's on about 7:30, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, he shows live by satellite, and he reads some freaky articles that, you know, people probably never run into. And, you know, what's going on right now, stuff. So that's pretty cool. So, thank you.
Tim, did you want to say anything?
I was just wondering about what part of Australia, if it's close to the South Pole, and if you have any pets, do they react to the strange stuff you're seeing?
Here we go.
I don't have any pets, and I'm in Rockhampton. I live in Rockhampton, and what do we have there? What's the name of what's that thing that goes through here?
Train.
No. It has the Earth there. It's in
The coast of Capricorn.
It's the Capricorn, yes, but I'm in line with the Capricorn thing that comes through from the mountains. My house is right in line with it, and
the ley lines.
Yeah, it starts from the middle of that mountain that's there. See the
because
hollow?
I just live over there.
Yeah,
at the bottom of the mountain.
It comes down from there straight through to me. over my house and straight through to the airport. And I've often wondered, is that why I see so many UFOs?
On the ley line.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so I've, no, I don't have any pets. I live on my own. I've been through, I got that way. I was too frightened to tell anybody about all this. And because a lot of people don't want to believe you, like my sisters and that. Now I've told them, but it's way over their head. They said, you know, what's been happening here. They couldn't advise me on anything. And I said, I'm going to sell my house and move. I can't live here anymore. It's getting too spooky for me.
Yeah.
Recently, hello everyone. Yeah. Recently, there was some kind of dust storm in Western Australia that was caused by some unusual activity up in the atmosphere. I can't remember what they called it, but it's I think that's a bit suspicious. What happened there with the dust storms? I can't quite remember. It was last week. A terrible dust storm happened in Western Australia, and it was caused by something that they've never really, maybe only noticed it's happened once before. But there could be a new way of affecting the atmosphere. For all we know, it could be what are those energy-directed weapons doing something? One thing I do notice, I live in Brisbane. I've never seen any chemtrails here, but it seems to be only happening in the USA. Would that be correct, or do you think it happens in Europe too?
Oh yeah, it happens everywhere on the planet. There's like the Facebook groups. I forget the names of them, but there's people. I've seen a lot of photos from people in Australia posting photos of geoengineering, like HAARP clouds and chemtrails, and in Australia. I don't remember exactly which places, but yeah, I've heard that they're in every country in the world apart from Israel. Ariana told me that one time. But, you know, Israel is such a small country, they're just going to float over from other places, and everything, all the air everywhere just gets kind of circulated and poisoned and polluted. So when I was in New Zealand about a year and a half ago, I was there for about 6 months or 8 months that time. And I didn't see any chemtrails at all in that time period, there's not a whole lot there, but I have seen photos people have taken there. But in Auckland, where I was most of the time, or in the Coromandel Peninsula, it's kind of such a small landmass surrounded by the ocean. I kind of think that it's so windy, they don't bother because it's just going to get blown off into the Pacific Ocean somewhere, because I went to Hawaii after that, and I didn't see any in Hawaii either, but I heard from people that lived there that they did see them sometimes, but they figured too it was because it was just the islands were so small they didn't bother. But it was kind of like when talking about the last few times we had this call, they're doing the 1080 in New Zealand, and they're bringing it to Australia too now. So yeah, there's always another way to poison and pollute things, and now everybody's getting 5G. So yeah, but the US is definitely the worst. In my experience, I haven't been to every country, but I've traveled around quite a bit. They got Mexico pretty bad down there too, but we haven't seen too many lately. I don't know what it's like up there in Oregon where Tim is, but every now and again we get a really bad day where, like we had one recently where there's just a ton of chemtrails and yeah, so yeah, that's my answer to that question. But I mean, it's good that you don't see them. That's for sure. Yeah, but maybe they're doing invisible ones now. Who knows? Did you have anything else to share, Debbie, from the last
No, I just
couple
think
weeks?
I'll have to look in the sky more often. I will have to keep looking up and seeing if I can see any chemtrails here in Brisbane. Yeah.
Yeah, you can jump on the some groups on Facebook and ask people. I know there is a group in Australia that goes to like local parks and they talk to the public about chemtrails and geoengineering. I've seen their videos online and they're pretty cool. They're pretty brave. And I forget, but you could probably find them, or I'll have a look and send something over to you. It would be interesting to maybe talk to them online. Um, yeah, or something else I was seeing. But oh yeah, there's the geoengineeringwatch.org. Dane Wigington. He does a video every week about like what's taking place in the world with the weather and the different geoengineering things and the different governments and things. And he does a big rap or like a news podcast thing. So yeah, maybe you'd listen to him and he'll give you an overview of why you're not seeing it or what's going on. He's very well researched on those things, and he's actually making a documentary right now about geoengineering. And the director was actually killed a couple weeks ago. So he's a pretty brave dude. Geoengineeringwatch.org. So yeah, one of our roommates here listens to him, so we hear him once a week, and he's a pretty cool guy. When he first found out about geoengineering, he was in a church, and so he wanted to talk to the church about what's going on, like the whole church when they're all meeting, but the people running the church said, no, you can't do that. That'll scare people, or whatever their idea was. And they basically told him to like leave the church, or he decided to leave because they wouldn't let him share what's really taking place. So that was a big wake up for him, and yeah, he seems like a pretty genuine guy. So yeah.
Okay, I will look him up. Thank you.